In a land once rich with promise, a nation woke up to the truth that freedom can be stolen not only by foreign hands but by its own sons. This is the story of Kutula, a country chained by greed, poisoned by power, and betrayed from within. A story of a king who was loved, a ruler who was feared, and a people who learned that silence can be the greatest surrender of all. Today, we journey into David Mulwa's Inheritance, a tale of corruption, resistance, and the unbroken spirit of a nation. Listen and witness how a dream was taken, how a people rose, and how hope refused to die. Kutula was once a proud and fertile land, guided by King Kutula VI, a leader remembered with honor, fairness, and dignity. But when the winds of independence swept across the land, dreams collided with ambition. The throne passed to Lacuna Kasoo, and with him, a dark era began. At first, the people hoped. They believed independence would bring dignity, unity, and prosperity. But Lacuna rise was not built on vision. It was built on greed, fear, and the whispering influence of foreign powers. He bowed to the interest of the wealthy investors like Robert and Goldstein, rulers without crowns who controlled the nation through loans, schemes, and silent demands. To the world, Lacuna wore the mask of a modern leader, but behind palace walls, he sold Kutula's land, silenced its voices, and feasted while its people starved. Taxes rose, freedom shrank. The soil itself became a commodity to be traded for foreign favors. In the shadow of this tyranny lived the humble farmer Gitura, once a man of dignity, now stripped of his land and reduced to nothing by degrees he never understood. His daughter Tobia and his wife Taru watched as he struggled against a system designed to break men like him. Gitura became a symbol not of defeat, but of the ordinary citizen crushed by corrupt power. Yet even in darkness, a spark survived. Princess Sangoi, daughter of the old king. She watched her country crumble and refused to stand silent. With her stood voices of reason. One, Bengo, the radical intellectual. Second, Chipande, a soldier torn between duty and conscience. Together they dreamt of reclaiming Kutula, not with hatred, but with justice. Meanwhile, Lacuna spiraled deeper into madness. Surrounded by yes men and blinded by paranoia, he feared every whisper, every shadow, every truth. He ordered arrests. He crushed dissent. He even manipulated faith, using Pastor Chisanga to preach obedience and suffering as God's will. The people cried. The land dried. Anger spread. But rulers built on fear forget one truth. That is, the human spirit cannot be imprisoned forever. Soon the ground began to shift. Bengo's voice inspired the angry and the forgotten. Sagoi's compassion lit hearts long numbed by despair. Even nature, as Mulwa symbolically paints it, seemed to mourn skies. As Mulwa symbolically paints it, seemed to mourn skies dying, harvest dying, as if Katula itself rejected Lacuna's rule. When the weight of injustice could no longer be carried, the people rose. They marched. They resisted. The palace walls trembled not from bullets, but from the voices of a nation reclaiming its soul. In the end, Lacuna, once untouchable, found himself alone, cornered, and stripped of the power he abused. The mighty throne he worshipped became nothing more than a cold, empty seat. Betrayed by his own ego, he was forced to face what he had done to his land and to his people. And so, Kutula stood at a crossroad, wounded but breathing, broken but alive. Under Sangoi's hopeful leadership and with the people awake at last, a new beginning flickered, fragile but real. Inheritance is not just a story about a fallen leader. It is a mirror held up to every nation that has traded its future for greed. every society that has stayed silent until silence became unbearable. Kutula teaches us this: freedom is not inherited, it is guarded. Leadership is not a crown, it is a responsibility. And a nation is not its ruler, it is its people. Even in betrayal, hope can rise. And even in darkness, light can return. And no matter how long injustice reigns, it cannot kill the spirit of the people who chose to stand. Thank you for listening to this dramatic retelling of David Mulwa's Inheritance. If you'd like more narrated literature journeys like these, remember to like, subscribe, and join me for the next story. Bye bye for now.